You don't need incredible bokeh for a good video. And I want to use this casual video to explain why with a first-hand example. You can see everything, right? I'm actually on shutter priority. It's at 1/60 seconds, 30 frames per second. Now, to me, I love a nice deep depth of field where you can see everything. I really enjoy seeing the environment somebody lives in. Not only that, but it gives it like an enriching world that I've built. It makes it worth it. Now, I could blur the crap out of this, and in a minute I will. I'm on a 1.8 20mm lens. But, you know, I'm losing all this depth. You can look around. I can just stop and just talk to you, and it's like you're hanging out. You can look at me, but then you can look away, look in the background, look at this beautiful sky. And you know, I'm not even shooting S-Log either too, by the way. But the thing is, it's like, look how great this looks. But everybody wants that blurry background, and that makes sense. I could blur it and it would also look beautiful, but you're losing all of this data and this interesting world that I'm living in. And for me, I spend all the time to walk down here so I can shoot here. And it's like, why would I blur the crap out of it? To me, I find that that's a waste. Now, that's the first point. It's like the world that you live in. Second thing is it makes it sharper. Like, I watched Craig Adams' hiking videos, and he shoots quite often on an f4 lens or, you know, a whatever, f8, f16, something like that. And he, it looks so sharp because the way that the lenses work is it's like clamping down. Like if you squint, you see sharper, like looking across the classroom at the chalkboard. When you squint down on that lens, it just sharpens things up, right? And that, to me, looks beautiful when it's a really beautifully sharp image. And then if you have all this stuff you can look at, then wonderful. Now, that is two major points. I'm going to switch over to the bokeh just now. Okay, I'm at 1.8 and it looks beautiful, doesn't it? It really does. Now, what is going on here? I'm telling you, look at me all the time. And I think that's a little bit egotistical, right? Like, why should you only look at me? I'm here at this beautiful scenery and you can't even focus on this beautiful, like, stuff, right? Like, you're missing out. And I think it's like too much direction for the viewer to look at one spot that I say so. Now, for B-roll, I think, you know, 1.8, 2.8 is really great. I think f4 is good enough if it's on like a 35mm or whatever. But here's the downside when you're doing bokeh. And if you're not using an ND filter, which most people don't anyways, you're gonna get this. That 1/3200 shutter speed. And to me, that's fine. I don't mind that. But it just isn't as smooth, and you don't forget you're watching something. If I see that and I see people walking and it's high shutter speed, I'm gonna kind of notice it. I am. And if you're a bokeh nerd, then you're probably gonna notice it too. And you know, fighting with ND filters is kind of like a loser's game in a lot of ways. Like, unless you just already have it on every lens, or if you're doing step-up things, now you have this dumb rig that has a step-up lens. When I'm just straight on the camera, just do it, put it at f1.8, and get on with your day. It looks fine, but the steppiness is annoying. It really is, and I just don't think it's as immersing and natural feeling as when you're in shutter priority. Forgetting about the depth of field. Let the lens be the lens and just stay strong with how your messages be in the world that you're, you know, trying to share. Absolutely. And I think you're gonna always be better off, right? So I'm just walking around. I'm trying to do this in one take, minus one thing, but you know, looking around, like, I don't know, this just looks so awesome. If it was in whatever it's called, f16. So here's the switch to f16. You should see it's extremely sharp now. I'm getting some sweet ass, you know, background for sure. And you know, I just think that this is a great look. Now, let's turn around to something that's not as beautiful, where we're in the woods. Now this, I think, also still looks good. Just sharper leaves and everything. Now the 1.8 would be really nice here. I'm at f9 right now. But I just don't believe most people need the creamy blur and so on. Like, I'm a big fan of like f5, you know, just shutter priority. Everything's gonna look natural and fine. If you're doing the f1.8 aperture priority, you have to fight with the shutter speed, whether you're doing an ND filter and you want it correct, or you're gonna sacrifice and be like, it's good enough, you know. But if you're shutter priority, then you just have the depth, the immersion, the world is included. And for me, that is awesome. I really enjoy including the world I'm in, even if it's like not that crazy. But I get it. Sometimes I want the f1.8, and it usually has to do if I'm not in a great environment. So for now, I'm in this little woods patch thing. I'll switch it to 1.8, and this would be a great reason for 1.8 when it's a little busy. What's there to look at, right? Like, this is kind of dumb. But wouldn't it make more sense to be like, well, why don't I just go somewhere better, get a good background, right? And go, I'll just go f11 or sunny 16, right? Yeah. So there we go. And then now everything's looking good, and you know, the shutter priority is 1/25. I could probably clamp it down a little more, but yeah, I think that this is the thing that I've really thought a lot about. This is not super casual thinking. I'm really passionate about shooting at a higher f-stop because I do believe it makes things look better. It feels better, it feels more unique. And as a person who's saying, like, if you want to copy anything that I'm doing, what I'm doing is something different. I'm trying to think for myself. And not, like I said, if I'm in the woods, then yeah, I'll do 1.8. But I'd probably be like, well, why am I shooting in the woods? So that's kind of what I wanted to share here. I hope this helps you guys. And until next time, peace.